It's difficult to stand out as a puzzler anymore. There are just tons of puzzle games out there, from the classics like Tetris and Puyo Pop to more modern examples like Bejeweled and Candy Crush. But Puzzle & Dragons has found a small but important way to change things up. And I believe it's worth taking notice, especially since it's been packaged in two unique ways, doubling its value for puzzle fanatics out there. So what is it that makes Puzzle & Dragons different? It's still a match 3 type of puzzler where different orbs need to be lined up either vertically or horizontally in order to clear them. But while many of these types of puzzles merely switch the icons, moving them in Puzzle & Dragons actually shifts the orbs along the way. This one simple mechanic changes all strategies and creates a great sense of control in how you set up combo chains. Players only have a short amount of time to move around their chosen piece. It often becomes a question of whether you should do the easiest maneuver or attempt to set up a massive combo. So often in puzzle games, I felt like the bigger combos are just a matter of luck, as more icons fall in to fill in the empty spaces. It's exciting to see it all happen, but I never felt like it was entirely my doing. While there's still a sense of that here, the chains I was able to set up on the board always felt like part of my plan. The time limit only starts when you actually touch an orb, so the game encourages a thoughtful approach in order to pull off the best possible move. It's been widely advertised that Puzzle & Dragons would come with two versions, Z and the Super Mario Bros. Edition. Despite the different branding, both pretty much play the same with only a few differences, but these do make the two versions distinct. Z is more like a typical RPG with side quests, a hub to explore, and a slightly more involved story about saving the world. Super Mario Bros. Puts more of the focus on the puzzles and keeping everything streamlined as Mario sets out across 8 worlds to rescue Peach from Bowser. Like Puzzle Quest, Puzzle & Dragons is a puzzle RPG. The actual puzzles are meant to simulate battles. Winning grants your team experience and they gradually become stronger. But while Puzzle Quest took inspiration from traditional RPGs, Puzzle & Dragons is more like Pokemon. In both versions, you create a team of creatures that are aligned with one of 5 elements: fire, wood, water, light, and dark. These elements are represented by the orbs on the board. A 6th orb is the heart, which heals your party. Lining up 3 or more will have the monster of that type attack the creature you're battling. If 5 are lined up in a row, then the attack will hit every enemy that you're facing. Of course, combos will strengthen the attack and make it that much deadlier. And just like Pokemon, each element is weak to and strong against another. Fire beats wood, wood beats water, and water beats fire. Dark and light are separate though and are weak to one another. Fortunately, each dungeon or level you enter clearly states which elements will be available and what kind of monsters you'll be facing. From there, you can customize your team to best handle the threat. Best of all, there are loads of strategies that can be used. If you want to only use monsters that are effective against a shown type, you can. You'll be piling on the damage, but any matches you make with other elements are wasted. On the other hand, balanced teams can always be attacking, but those attacks are not nearly as strong. It becomes a question of what style works best for you. Personally, since you can have up to 6 creatures on a team, I found myself doubling up on the primary element, but having the others around as backup. There are also a ton of different monsters to use, and it's here that the two versions differ slightly once again. Both feature monsters that have unique leader abilities and skills. The leader creates a passive effect on your team that could boost a number of different attributes. In Z, the leader could be any one of your monsters as long as they have a leader ability. But in Mario, only Mario or Luigi can be the leader. However, the Mario edition brings variety by unlocking the different power-ups that Mario and Luigi can access, all with their own abilities and skills. Every monster has a skill that can be activated to either do direct damage, healing, or manipulating the board in some way. In Z, a meter is filled which can be used to activate any monster's skill. Multiple skills can even be activated in a single turn, provided you have enough of the meter filled. However, the Mario edition has a countdown for each monster. After a certain amount of turns, the skill will be available to be used. Finally, in both versions, every monster can be transformed into more powerful forms. The process requires items that are dropped during fights, but they will power your team up. Though there is a catch. Their level will be returned to 1, though they do keep the stat boost from the previous form. They are lessened slightly, but the new version will overtake the previous one soon enough. It becomes a question of whether you transform your team right away, or let them reach their max level before transformation in order to get the best possible stats. It all comes together to make an incredibly addictive game if you love puzzlers. I wanted to catch every type of monster and found myself growing attached to certain creatures, specifically a Goomba who was incredibly powerful. There's much more to discover in the game, but even at its most basic, I had a lot of fun. Puzzle & Dragons is a pretty good looking game. The bottom screen is focused on the puzzle action and is smartly laid out. Nothing is cluttered and everything is clear immediately. The top screen shows the monsters you're facing and a bit of the dungeon you're in. It's simple, but it gets the idea across that you are exploring. And it is kind of amusing seeing a first-person perspective as you go through traditional Mario levels. While there is 3D implemented, I never saw the use since most of my focus was on the bottom screen. The original music in the Z version is good, but not exactly memorable. Nothing really stuck with me. Conversely, the tracks in the Mario edition are classic, though there doesn't seem to be any remixes. They mainly seem pulled from the new Super Mario Bros. Series. The presentation is fine, but the focus is on the gameplay, and it's there that Puzzle & Dragons, both the Z and Mario Bros. Editions, shine. And each version offers something similar, yet different. If you want more of an RPG experience, Z is the way to go. If you want more of a focus on puzzles, then Mario is your man. Either way, you get both, and I like them both a lot. It's a great choice for anyone looking for a new puzzle game with a definite challenge and a lot of value. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Puzzle & Dragons and other things gaming.